Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where last time we assaulted a hilltop so that we could claim control of the landing area here in Mirkwood. But of course, the landing is just the first stage of our invasion. So, what's the next stage?
The Golden Host is ready now to begin the passage into Mirkwood.
It was not easy, Pinelor, but we have made the crossing and expelled the orcs from their fort atop of Angened. The Golden Host is now ready to begin the passage into Mirkwood. I hope we're not wrong in this. A great deal is at stake. Well, we could only hope.
We have made the landing, but now the second party must cross.
Now you must return to Imlan Lalath and tell Braglin that we have seized our first foothold across the river. It is time for the second party to cross, for it is they who hold the stealthy undertaking of bringing Mazog to Dol Guldur in trade for the dwarf prisoner. The launch officer, Calangoth, near the boats, will ferry you back to Lothlorien. I will see to the rest of the preparations necessary for Echazerion to serve as the camp for our first excursions into Mirkwood. Alright. That means back to the Golden Wood. The foothold is now complete.
The first crossing was a success then. Good, good.
That means that it's time for the second, smaller company to cross Anduin. I will bring you to meet them. After all, you will be assisting these elves with the transport of Mazog to Dol Guldur, and the way will be fraught with danger. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll introduce them to you. Alright? No time like the present.
Golden Host of Lothlorien has crossed the river Anduin, but now a second smaller party must follow in its wake. These are the elves of the Hidden Guard, chosen to bring the prisoner Mazog to the gates of Dol Guldur.
Lord Celeborn and Lady Galadriel have determined that the elves of Lothlorien must stand allied with the dwarves of Moria, as long ago they once did. They have selected a number of elves to oversee the passage of Mazog through Mirkwood to Dol Guldur, where the orc would be exchanged for the prisoners held by the enemy in that fortress. I'll bring you to these elves, his hidden guard, as they make their preparations. Alright? This way, I'll introduce you to the hidden guard. Alright, they're hidden somewhere, I guess. The Hidden Guard is composed of 5 elves, chosen for their skill in various disciplines. Alright. You too will be a member of the Hidden Guard. I know your help would be invaluable. Let me introduce you to Radir, Siglet, and Achardor, 3 members of the Hidden Guard. Alright, so this is Achardor. My brother Fangris was slain by orcs that came down from the mountains following the company that sought refuge in the Golden Wood recently, and I desire to end Mazog's life myself. It pains me to know that we must turn him over to his allies, and I have argued long against it already. Alright, so our biggest threat here is that he may pull out a knife and kill Mazog early. Not that I would mind that result, but that's an entirely different matter. I petitioned Lord Celeborn to let me accompany this group transporting the prisoner, but he denied my request. Only once the Lady Galadriel spoke to him did he change his mind. I don't know what she said, but I am grateful to her for it. Now I will keep a close eye upon Mazog for the duration of this journey, and if he gives me the slightest reason, I will take my vengeance upon him. Well, nothing will go wrong from that, right? Okay, so now we have Siglet and Radir. Siglet. I am Siglet, my lord, and I know already of your deeds. You are welcome to accompany us upon this errand, though I have my doubts as to its wisdom. It is a sorrow that the dwarves have lost their own to cages in the enemy, but that is the way of war. Returning Mazak to his allies seems indefensible to me. If Lord Celeborn and Lady Galadriel see value in it, it is not the place of Siglith to question. Alright. And, oh, okay, I forgot about this a little bit. Tell me about yourself. There is little to tell. I have lived long in Lorien, and in all that time I have not seen such an endeavor as that of the Golden Host. If any of the sames come to pass, it will seem to me a wonder. But I vow to see that the will of the Lord and Lady in all things, for they have shown me kindness and beauty in such measure as I would not have believed were I not witness to them myself. All right. Anything else? Oh, interesting set of knives there. I crafted these knives myself, friend. This one is called Ignasigil, for his sharp point can pierce even the air. And this one is Lachigil, and his edge can have a whisper. I'm going to assume that's metaphoric. And they are the last knives that I'll ever make, for all others would be less. For each orc I slay, I will carve a mark in the hill to the knife that dealt the killing blow, and I will give Lachigil and Ignasil to the Lord and Lady when the grips are completely filled with these marks. Okay. We'll see how that goes. What do you say about that? Radir? Oh my goodness gracious, he's got 3 things. What can we expect in Mirkwood? The forest is dark and dense, and its paths are not to be lightly trod. But you need not fear overmuch, for I am familiar with its ways, and I will bring you safely to the gates of Dol Guldur by secret ways the enemy knows not. Once we are there, however, we will rely upon the other elves of the company. My skill is tracking, and not in battle. If the exchange does not go well, it may come to fighting. Alright, so he is the scout then. Always important if you are trying to get through an area. Okay, so we have one double knives, we have the scout, we have Mr. Revenge over there. And let's see. What do we know about Dol Guldur? In the far reaches of the southern Mirkwood, the fortress of Dol Guldur stands atop a rocky height. It was the stronghold of the enemy for a time, and still his evil festers there. I walked there once, long ago. The memory is grim, and were it not for my companion on the journey, I would have despaired. If all goes well, we will not need to tread where I once did, and for that I'm grateful. Alright, well, let us hope. What else do we know? It's a pleasure to meet you. I know that you will be a great asset to us upon this errand. If we were to bring the orc leader to Dol Guldur with the hope that we can exchange his freedom for that of the dwarf prisoners, we must do it in secret. Our numbers are not so great that we can resist the determined effort to take him from us before reaching the fortress, so our entire plan is to go by stealth and not be noticed. Alright, gotcha. What do you say now? The elves of the Hidden Guard were chosen for their varied expertise in a number of areas. Siglith for her skill in melee combat, and Radir for his expert tracking ability. Were it my decision, I might not have let a Cardor join the main force. Oh, I would have let him join the main force of the Maladream rather than the Hidden Guard. given his recent tragedy and his brother's death, but I am sure that Lady Galadriel had her own reasons for speaking on his behalf, and believes that he will be an important part of the Hidden Guard. I'll bring you to the rest of the company. Alright, that means there are 2 left if I understand that correctly. Come with me. I will introduce you to them. Isuriel was offering a strategic advice. I don't know why exactly, but I believe that she thought others might be better suited for the leadership. Oops. Isuriel, I remember her. She asked me to give that detailed account. Yeah, there we go. Isuriel and Hukaron. Well, he seems to be our archer. Hello? Welcome, Pinelore. We are the Hidden Guard, formed by order of the Lord and Lady, and it is our mission to bring Mazak to the gates of Dol Guldur, there to trade his life for those of the prisoners held in the fortress. Secrecy is our watchword, and surprise our ally. Isuriel has told me already of your great deeds. I know that you'll be a vital member of the Hidden Guard on this journey. Alright. And what do you think about this mission? I don't know if victory is possible, but I will meet the challenge standing upright, with Kumath bent, his string taut. I am going to have to guess that that's his bow. We cross the river and bring the fight to the very lawns of the enemy. While the Golden Host marches its attack, the Hidden Guard will deliver their charge to the gates of the fortress and demand satisfaction. I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong in that, right? If fortune is on our side, one of our aims at least will end in victory. We will be better for the trying, even should we fail. Well, I am glad that he sees it as a good endeavor regardless of the outcome. And what does Isuriel have to say? And no, I'm not going to give you another detailed account of our escape from, with Mazag. Oh my. Well, let's see. Can you tell me about Mirkwood and what can we expect from... what do we need here? Megavan and Pinelore, it is good to see you again, and I welcome you to the ranks of the Hidden Guard. The knives of Siglith, the bow of Kuchron, the path of knowledge of Radir, and the strong will of Hardor will see this mission through, and the friendships between Moria and Lothlorien will be stronger for it. Let the enemy quake when he learns of the approach of the Golden Host, and he will think nothing of the Hidden Guard until we are at the gates of Dol Guldur, and demand the prisoners kept there in exchange for the life of Mazag, for I know that there won't be an entire army waiting in there getting ready to pounce upon us, right? Well, yeah, there is that. And here comes the rest of the Hidden Guard. And we are, well, 6, I guess, counting me. It will be a pleasure to guide the Hidden Guard across the river on this, the first step of their journey. May it end in victory. Back in Mirkwood. What do you say about that? We have made the crossing. The dwarves should be just ahead with their captive. Let us greet them and discuss the plans for our journey. Alright. This way. The dwarves must be just ahead. I hope that Broin and the dwarves understand the importance of this errand, secrecy. The dwarves from the Iron Garrison are not known for their subtlety. Dwarves in general aren't known for their subtlety. The dwarves and their captive are just ahead. I fear that they've been waiting for a while. Hail, dwarves of the Iron Garrison! I am Radir of Lorien. You know my ally Pinelore, Lord Master of great worth and bravery? We do. I am Broin, son of Broger, and these are the brothers Greyhammer. We go to Dol Guldur to trade the orc Mazog for the freedom of my cousin Bori. Am I to understand that you know the paths of this unpleasant forest? I know the ways of Mirkwood, for I trod this long ago, the very foundations of Dol Guldur. The elves of my company, the Hidden Guard, will bring Mazog there by these paths. You will not make it a league. The orcs of Mirkwood will descend upon you. Latu Cosmers Magul! I'll be silent. He is frightened, though it might not be from us. Think that's so, Isuriel? It is the strength of the dwarves that frightens us. Surely it is. No, Brian. Mazog is frightened at being brought to Dol Guldur. But why? Are his allies not there? What could cause him to fear that place? That makes me all the eager to bring him there. Come here, Pinelore. What? At last we are underway. If you have faith in these elves, this Hidden Guard, then that will do as well. May our journey through Mirkwood be swift, and the return trip even swifter. When Bori and the other captives hail and hearty. Yes, let us go. So far, so good.
For good or ill, we now have no choice but to embark upon this journey.
It has now begun. May both aims of the Maladrim see victory in the end. The rescue of the prisoners held by the enemy in Dol Guldur, and the delay of an attack out of Mirkwood upon Lothlorien. We will do all that we can to see that both of these done.
The success of the Hidden Guard's errand will depend, I think, upon secrecy.
We must ensure that the orcs of Mirkwood do not learn of Mazog's presence beneath the eaves, or they will surely launch an attack upon us in such numbers that we cannot escape them. To the southeast you will find 2 forts of which the orcs of Mirkwood maintain a watch upon this part of the forest. Search any coppers that you find at Mothulur and Anzur's Malfalug for orc communications, and defeat any of the Tarkash that you find in the Murkies as you do so. If you can return to me with any plans or messages that mention Mazog, we can determine how to proceed. If they are aware that we have brought him out of Moria, we may need to act quickly to survive. Alright. I suppose we can do that, but it seems like we have other matters to do. Right, Luth? And now that we have dwarves in the camp in addition to the elves, we must be wary, for I sense that orcs still prowl these woods. Oh! That would be a shock.
Mind my words, traveler.
We took the orcs by surprise when we landed, and quickly routed them into the forest. However, we believe that they may either have another camp nearby, or are preparing a retaliatory assault, for we have recently seen goblin scouts on occasion. We have dispatched our own patrols to find these camps, but we have thus far been unsuccessful. If you would, scour the Murkies for those elusive scouts. Perhaps they may carry some clue as to the camp's whereabouts. They have a mastery of stealth, so it may be difficult to find them. Also, you should speak with Tethapanel and Feroniel here in Echad-Serion. They may have other tasks for you. Now, I was running into those things left and right during the landing. But I always recall that quest being very, very hard, and sometimes I've just abandoned it because I said, okay, fine, I'm done with it. Well, what does Tethafno.
Will you lend me your ear?
Pinelor, it is good to see that you have come. Our forces swept through the area like a storm, but we were unable to signal our kindred in Lothlorien that all went well. If you would, I have a task for you. Take this banner to Falug, the ruins of the Orc Tower overlooking the Anduin to the south of here, and brace it with stones. Surely you will find suitable piles of stones over there. When the banner flies, our kindred will see, and you may return to me. Alright, fine. I will tell them that we have succeeded in taking the fortress. Oh, and I suppose it would be a good idea to set a milestone. I guess that would be the better one. And stable route, of course.
How can I be of service?
You've done everything you need for the moment. Here's Feroniel.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
If you got a moment, Pinelor, I would speak with you. Our forces landed recently upon the shores and drove off the orcs after a mighty battle. However, many dark creatures have been seen lurking upon these shores still. Many wargs and Kriban roam the Murkies, undoubtedly spying for the enemy at Dol Guldur. The eyes of Dol Guldur must be blinded to our movements. If you would purge the Kriban and wargs from these shores, then I would be most grateful. Be wary upon your task, for goblin scouts also roam the beaches, and they may ambush you. Well, okay, so kill warg scouts and Darkwing spies, and of course the goblin scouts also, but I've already got a quest to collect their tokens, so that won't be a problem. Well, it'll be a problem, but I'll get credit for it at least. And I guess that means it's time for me to set out and venture into Mirkwood, which is exactly what I'll be doing in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.